All right, we're live. Hello, it's Stevie
Awesome.
J. And
Awesome.
yeah, welcome to Live with Bottleneck. I'm going to be talking with Shelby Reed. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are watching us from wherever you are, know that we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on YouTube. So whatever your favorite platform is, you can tune in right now and watch us for about the next 30 minutes. So without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let me see which one it is here. Here we go. We're good to go. I'm going to play the intro. We'll be back in 38 seconds. All right, hello, we're back, and I'm so excited to be talking with Shelby Reed. She is our guest today, and she's the co-owner of Senior Living Experience. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Shelby before I bring her on, and I'm going to have her introduce herself too. But Shelby and her Senior Living Experience team specialize in home sales, downsizing, and lifestyle transitions for seniors, working with a team of experts from a variety of fields that touch on every aspect of the transition process. She brings specialized knowledge and expertise in counseling clients through lifestyle transitions involved in relocating and selling their homes in the most advantageous approach possible. So we're going to be talking about how seniors and their families can safely make a move now amidst COVID-19. So without any further ado, please welcome Shelby Reed. How are you, Shelby?
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Jamie, for having me. This is my first Facebook Live, so I'm so excited.
Oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah, like you said, I'm just here for the ride, and I'm happy to share more about our business, what we're doing right now with our business amongst the COVID or C-19. We're all kind of living in this crazy world right now, and everyone's making adjustments and, doing the things we can to help others and be as best servants as we can with the, opportunities and business strategies we have at hand. So I'm happy to excited to share some of it.
Me too. And Shelby, thanks again for taking the time for this. I know you've been incredibly busy doing what you're doing over there, and this whole pandemic has kind of taken hold on each of us, and each of us, I think, are experiencing different ways or different areas that it's affecting our business and things like this. So I'm really excited to have you share a little bit about what it is that you're doing. And before we jump into that, maybe you can kind of introduce yourself and maybe share a little bit of the background of who you are and what you're all about.
Awesome. Shelby Reed, our business is Senior Living Experience. Our website is www.seniorlivingexp.com. If you're looking to learn a little bit more, we're a relatively new niche of our industry where our main crux of what we're doing with the Senior Living EXP is we are working with seniors who are going through a downsizing transition, and we're helping them in different ways. It's really customizable to everyone's certain specific situation, as there's no one situation that is the same, especially when you're working with downsizing and seniors. But the majority of what we're doing is we're coming in, we're able to help assist the senior and their families really from as early as we can get to them as possible, because we all say, we're always saying in our business, the sooner you get started, the sooner you start planning, the better. And then we're kind of helping them all the way through that transition until they're settled and feel comfortable in their new senior living community. So we'll get into more detail, I'm sure. But,
Yeah.
as far as my background is, I could tell you 100 different things of what I've been up to, but this is, my main focus right now. And I'm just very passionate about the work we're doing with seniors and really explaining to people not only that we are here and this does exist, this type of services is present, but then also getting the word out that we are here and we are present. So that's kind of what we've been busy with right now is really just getting the word out. And especially during this COVID-19 time is you want to use a company and a relationship and a service that you can trust and that has experience. And we are still moving people right now.
Wow.
So that's, and the reality is that up until this, we did about 156 moves. So,
Wow.
we've got some move history behind our belts, and now it's just how do we weave it through to make sure everyone stays as safe as they can during this pandemic.
Yeah, what are so this is a pretty interesting, this kind of hits home for me, and without getting too morbid and down on this, but a lot of people take advantage of our senior citizens. And I just lost my mom in March of this year. And one of the biggest things that I learned from that whole process was to plan properly. Now, I'm talking about something a little bit different than what it is that you're doing there, but the underlying tone is planning. And that trust factor along with planning are two things that I think everybody needs to be involved in. And I have several questions for you because I think a lot of this might be questions that other people might ask. Being the main person to handle my mom's estate or to handle any of the things that she was doing, I was in charge of all that decision making. So do you identify who that person is? Do you work with these people? Are you working with the person that's actually moving in? Or are you working with family members? Or how does that whole process work?
We're working with both typically because a lot of times the senior does want to be involved as much as they can. Like I said, every situation is very different, but as you experience and as most people experience, there is one adult child, whether it's the son or a daughter, who is going to step up and be the one that makes the decisions and decides really what the next steps are going to be and how they're going to, keep up with mom's health or get her out of her current situation if she's not in a safe situation at her home. So in that instance, we're working a lot with the adult son or the adult daughter. But, being cognizant of the fact that the senior, if they want to be still involved in the situation, we're still working with them also. But,
Right.
a lot of times when we first meet with the in charge party, it's just more of how can we support you? What's your unique situation? How can we help you during this time with the knowledge we have and share that so that we can make the process as easy and as stress-free as we possibly can.
Perfect. And just FYI, if you're watching this, no matter what platform, Twitter or LinkedIn, if you have any questions, please feel free to comment away, and we'll make sure that Shelby gets an answer to you. And if we don't get to it today, I'll follow back up with Shelby, and we'll see if we can get answers for you. So, how soon does someone need to start looking for your services? What are they researching, and when are they starting to do this? You mentioned downsizing, and maybe you can define that time period when they start kind of searching for you.
Most of the time when we first get contacted, it's either the senior themselves or their loved one, whether it's their adult son or daughter, or it could be a close family member or a friend that is very close with them, is realizing that they need to do something different. So whether that's the senior themselves who have started realizing that maybe it's their health is starting to decline a little bit, or a lot of times too, it's the spouse's health that they're seeing starting to decline. And so they're not worried about themselves, even though they should be also worried about themselves, and be doing that, practicing that self-care, but they're more worried about wanting to make sure that their spouse has the resources needed as their health starts to decline. And they, a lot of the people we work with, they're very realistic, and they know that I know I'm not going to be able to help my husband who weighs 225 pounds, so like double of me, and he's going to start needing assistance, whether that's just getting up in the morning and getting dressed, or it's making sure he's taking his medication appropriately, or it's making sure he's getting the right meals and the right exercise. And that can be a full-time job for someone. And while a lot of people out there do that themselves, there are some spouses who aren't able to take that on, and they know that they want to go through this downsizing transition and kind of get into a senior living community that they know right now they want to maintain their independence, but at some point they're going to need that extra help. And so it gives them that comfort to just know that, okay, like we're here. Like we know that if something happens to my husband and he does need that extra help, I know I just have to pick up the phone and it's right there.
Gotcha.
And it's like right down the hallway,
Right.
or it's going to be a slow transition of, for example, the cooking. That's a huge thing. Like seniors, people don't think about, but seniors just aren't, when they're at home by themselves, they're not getting the healthy meals. They're not eating 3 times a day. They're not getting up and getting active. So a lot of times when we see them then transition into the communities, they're getting that interaction more. The meals are prepared for them. So they know they're getting, whether they're being delivered to them or they're able to go down to the dining hall and get them, but they know they're there. And there's a lot more interaction in general, which is another topic. But, really, we just can't stress the planning part as much as possible. As soon as it's really all a gut feeling, as I'm sure you probably dealt with your mom, but every situation's so different. As it's just, when do you feel like you want to have your loved one have some more support than what they're currently getting? And there's so many levels of support there.
And so do you bring all those different levels of support together? Like maybe if they need to have someone come and help clean, or someone to come in and cook, or is that all part of what relocating into the communities is about?
That 100%, we're all of advocating, the stay at home, if that's stay in your home, if that's something that can be manageable for you. And we obviously have resources that can help with that also. But really the people we're working with are the ones who they're moving into another community, whether it's a independent living community, assisted living community, or, a memory care, skilled nursing type center, where they're going to that place to then be able to receive that additional level of care.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm really interested in how this has been affecting during this COVID outbreak. It seems that, hearing on the news or from other people, that it's a lot more dangerous for our elderly population. And so I'm wondering, are more people more hesitant to do anything like that right now? And if so, what can you share to let them know that you've taken certain precautions and you can still help with this, because time is time, and people need to take care of business still.
Yes, exactly. Absolutely, we have seen a huge slowdown in the number of moves that we were doing prior to March, really April, probably, I guess I'd say April 1st is really when we started to really see the impact of as many people around us as, what this coronavirus was actually going to do and look like in our communities. We are locally here in St. Louis County, in Missouri. So that was kind of around the time our stay-at-home order probably got a release a little bit before then. But that was when people really started to realize what the choices they were going to make individually on how they were going to react to the virus. we have still been doing moves for those who need to get to that other level of care. But there's some people that we are working with that they know that they've started planning so early that they know that they want to get to that next level and they know that they need that, but they can safely wait it out at home. And that's what they're choosing to do, which we, support 100% right now, because that the reality is when you move into a community right now, they're doing everything they can to keep themselves and that senior and all the people in their community as safe as possible. So the reality is when these people are moving in, they're going to run the risk of not being able to have their family visitors come and stop by and talk with them like they're used to doing. Now, for someone who maybe lives out of town from their family member, I would feel more comfort knowing that my mom in Florida is, or wherever, in Arizona, is in a facility being cared for if that's what she needed at this time, versus being home by herself or with a spouse whose health was failing. And I didn't know who was going to be able to get into their house because I couldn't be there,
Gotcha.
to stop in and say hi. And in those instances, then it does make sense for that person to go through with the move and get moved into the community and be able to have those resources for them available if and when they need them. Hopefully we're starting to see some of this virus stuff loosen up. I don't think we're going to see it really hit the senior living communities for at least another month, just because they are going to be the most cautious when opening back up, as they should be. But again, the positive is that we're starting to see a little bit more people coming back out and saying, okay, let's start talking about this now. We've been cooped up now for 2 months and we know we still need this level of care. So let's maybe start planning for when it's, a little, when they don't have the lockdown restrictions at the specific communities to get that senior there.
Yeah, this is really good feedback for someone that's either a resident of a facility like this, or maybe their loved ones watching right now. What are some precautions that you might be able to share with us that the person at the facility can take right now? And as a little side note, my wife here, she has a friend who has stables where people can come and ride the horses, and it helps them out with the people that can't walk and stuff like that. And they took all the horses over to one of these facilities, elderly facility, the other day, because you can't go visit the people. They're in their windows looking at the horses. It was just neat little things like that I thought was really exciting. But what are some things you might be able to share with either the residents or their loved ones that, hey, do this right now to kind of be supportive
of the seniors, of the ones that are in the communities kind of stuck. Yeah. Well, first of all, just reaching out. We've seen so many seniors recently who we never would have thought have been comfortable with a technology of Zoom, FaceTime, probably not Skype. We've mostly been doing FaceTimes. But you'd be surprised how many of these seniors are open to this technology shift because it's of the need that we're under. So my biggest thing is just reach out to, if you have a senior that's already in a community and, they're really struggling, as a lot of people are, just like everyone is, with not being able to see their loved ones and worrying about what's going to happen, reach out to them and see if try to help them get on FaceTime so you can at least see each other and talk. A lot of the communities we work with, the staff is still there and they're able to help facilitate that too, which we've seen, they're very open to that. But the biggest thing we've been surprised at is we've been, obviously doing as much virtual discussions with our families as we can. And you'd be surprised that these seniors, they're up for the technology challenge and they're willing to embrace it. So
we, my wife's parents, they have this thing called Nacho Friday. And so the families go over, to their house, and Her dad, I think, is 78, or her stepdad is 78. And her mom's, I don't know, she's getting up there out of respect. I won't say the age, but they
She's probably proud of that number.
yeah. Well, you know what? Everybody hopped on the Zoom call. We shared a wonderful Friday nacho dinner
Oh, that's awesome.
family here, family in Montana, and it was really neat. We're just trying to take advantage of everything that we can do. It's challenging. It's like, who knows what the new normal is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this might be, in essence, some sort of a blessing in how we might be able to continue, more communication and just help out as much as we can. What are some of the things, if someone's moving right now, if someone's going to go through that experience right now, like now is the time, maybe they've already made their plans and this is the time to do it. What are some of the precautions that you might share with, the new resident?
Mm-hmm. I would recommend, first of all, that they're doing everything as virtual as possible with, whether it's if they're working directly with the moving company or if they're working with, like for us, for example, all of our in-home appointments have now been changed to virtual in-home appointments. So we're limiting the risk at every chance we possibly can. And that's probably one of my bigger pieces of advice is just limit your risk points. We can't, if we are going to go through a move, we're going to have people around you in your home touching your things, but that doesn't mean we can't be as safe as possible with that. Another big thing that our team is doing is our crews are really being taught to limit the touch points on your stuff. So I know it probably sounds crazy, but in a typical move, and again, Jamie, this goes back to saying, well, there are some good things and we all learn to be a little more efficient, but in a typical move, you've probably seen a mover come into if you've had movers, they come in, they're grabbing, they're grabbing something, they're moving it to one spot, then they're stopping, then they're picking it back up, and then they're moving it here, and then they're moving it there before they actually get it loaded up into the truck, and then it's not touched again. So the biggest thing we have is we create floor plans for all of our moves. So we know exactly what's going, it's whether it's that couch, that end table, that nightstand, we know exactly the pieces that are being moved well before the move. And our team, when they come in, they go straight to that item. Because we have documentation of it, they go straight to that item, they grab that item, then they take it straight to the truck. So we're limiting the touch points on the actual physical part of it as much as we can.
That's a great idea.
And it sounds so minuscule, but it just makes sense when it adds up.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Another thing that we're doing that I would recommend is just make sure that the crews are familiar with the community and that the community is allowing them to come in. Because, every company handles themselves differently. And, you just want to double check and make sure that the community that you're moving to will allow those people to come in and what are the rules surrounding it. Our crews are wearing their own PPE, equipment to keep themselves safe as possible and keep others safe as possible.
What is PPE?
Personal protective equipment.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure, just in case.
Yeah. So they're wearing the gloves, the masks. They also have the hand sanitizer on their belt loops too, where a lot of times some of these guys, it's not safe when they start moving the heavier items to be wearing a pair of rubber gloves because the gloves are going to rip, right? And they don't want to we're no longer wearing cloth gloves because that's just going to hold the germs in. So if they're not wearing the rubber gloves when they're doing the packing, then they have the hand sanitizer right there with them, and they're sanitizing their hands as frequently as need be to keep everyone as safe as possible.
Well, that's fantastic. So we're getting close to the end of our half hour here. And I just wanted to say, Raina said, hello, Shelby.
Hi, Raina. Thank you for arranging this.
And I wanted to say, thank you to her. She's amazing. But before we wrap, is there anything else that you would like to share with us on how you can take care of someone, during this transitional period.
Just reach out. Like, let me just talk. We love to share all the information we have. Reach out if you have any questions. There's lots of tips and tricks that we have. And like I said, we've done about 156 moves already. So we have a good system, we have a good process, and I feel really comfortable in our safety measures we're taking during the moves that we are still doing. And my biggest thing is just start early and ask questions. And you just never know what you'll find when, it's a really overwhelming process, whether you're going through coronavirus time or not. But really, when we're meeting with families and we really break down the steps of our process, it becomes a lot more palatable and it's not so overwhelming. And it's really an exciting time. Even during a pandemic, it can still be exciting because you're getting taken care of. But I guess I would just say, just reach out, contact us, and let us know how we can help.
Shelby, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And thank you so much for what you're doing and staying positive through this time and helping so many people. I know it's been challenging to say the least here, but
yes.
We don't say problems here at Bottleneck. We say challenges. So we can always
exactly
overcome the challenges. And I wish you all the best with this. I think it's fantastic. And that's seniorlivingexp.com. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yep. So, and thank you, Jamie. Thanks for everything you're doing with Bottleneck. I love our VA friend. I have to give him a shout out because I think he's listening. He said he was going to be, but he's slowly but surely getting integrated in all of our ins and outs. And I just can't wait to utilize him and have him grow with the team as well. And I can't say enough great things about that. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Well, hold on one quick second. We'll go ahead and wrap up here. Hold on one quick second. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in today with my incredible conversation and dare I say, great friend, Shelby Reed, and full transparency, wonderful client. Just amazing, amazing person. Shelby Reed, she's the co-owner of Senior Living Experience. By all means, go check out their website at seniorlivingexp.com. You can also find them on Instagram and, of course, here on Facebook. And you can just go up in the Facebook search bar and type in Senior Living Experience and learn more about them. So go check out seniorlivingexp.com today to learn more about transitioning or downsizing from a home into an elderly community. And I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into this Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live. If you're on YouTube or Periscope or Twitter, hello, thank you so much for tuning in. And we appreciate you watching. We're here to help stop the bottleneck in your business. And that's why we're bringing on people just like Shelby, because she's able to help stop the bottleneck in these transitions. And every time we bring somebody else on, they're demonstrating a way to help assist you grow your business or to handle what it is most challenging in life. So you'll find the answers here. So thank you again for tuning in. And we will catch you on the flip side. If you have any other questions, please do not hesitate to reach out, and we'll talk with you soon.